I want to transition into some of those players that stood out positively yesterday, and of course, number one being De'Zhaun Stribling. It's you hear reports about training camp, and you go against your own guys all the time, and you really we've heard some things about training camp or guys that play well in the preseason, and then you end up never seeing them because it was, I guess, a mirage. But the talk was Stribling was killing it in camp. He continued to do it in joint practices. And the last 2 weeks, he looks like a competent starting wide receiver in the National Football League. And the great thing about him that I really enjoy, when the ball hits his hands, other than that one drop, the ball doesn't move. It's like in there. It's perfect. There's such a, I can't say TO, but there's certain guys that are just so physically gifted, not just in, skill wise, but in body type too. And he fits the bill on so many levels. I want to get your guys' thoughts because, everybody thought this was a reach of a pick, including our guy Mike, who's eating crow right now. You should have saw the stream last week. He had a piece of paper that says I was wrong or something. He put it to the top of his hat. Sterling, what do you think about Stribbling so far in the preseason? And if you involve everything with the training camp as well.
Yeah, it's hard not to be impressed, right? When you pick a guy at 33 overall, the expectations are high, right? That's 2 picks from where Ricky Pearsall was taken a couple of years ago, and the expectations are really high for Ricky Pearsall. And we've seen how that's gone, and it's not gone well for a lot of different reasons, mainly the injury stuff. But, San Francisco needs a player like Stribbling in this offense. There's a reason they went and signed Mike Evans. There's a reason why they went and drafted De'Zhaun Stribling. I think, Aaron, you're right. One of the big differences between Stribbling and the other young receivers we've seen under Kyle Shanahan, Ricky Pearsall, Jordan Watkins, Jacob Cowing, Danny Gray, others along those lines, Dante Pettis involved in this too. A lot of those guys are smaller framed, speedsters, gadget, specific role type players. Stribbling is 6'3", runs a 4.3, can body up dudes, can go up and get at the ball over defenders, and more importantly here, and you saw it last night too with Watkins and Cowing, Stribbling uses his hands. Cowing and Watkins are body-catching wide receivers, and in some cases that's okay. In some cases you have to use your body to go up and get the football, but a lot of the times you want to see a receiver that has big freaking paws like Stribbling does. Use them. Juwan Jennings was the same way, right? And Jennings was more of a body catcher than Stribbling was, but Stribbling just been overall impressive. Last night he showed off some separation skills on slant routes and on crossers, and even that deep pass he dropped, which he said, I need to go back to the jug machine because I got to bring that catch in during the regular season. He still separated from the defender and got open downfield. And that's something San Francisco hasn't had since Brandon Ayuk, and maybe even before that too. So it's really hard not to be impressed and hard not to get excited. I will say this though, while we can jump for joy and cheer and feel like we have this X factor type player in the making, I'm seeing a lot of people be like, you need to eat crow and the apology tour needs to happen. They played 2 games that don't matter. It's preseason week 2. While they've been impressive, Stribbling having 11 catches on 13 targets for 109 yards. That's awesome. That's insane, right? I think he's in the catch percentage numbers of JSN and guys like that in their first preseasons. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. He has to do it against the Rams in Australia week 1. He has to do it against the Broncos defense at home shortly after that too. He has to do it against that Seattle defense twice next year. There are going to be growing pains for a young player like him. But the belief is that he'll be able to push through those and be a better player afterwards. But by no means should somebody be apologizing when you've seen a lot of people in San Francisco walk in here in preseason and light it up and then do absolutely nothing for the next 3 seasons. So be happy. I'm there with you. But let's temper the expectations for a guy, because we're seeing people be like, rookie of the year, baby, put it in the bag, 1,000 yards, 85 receptions, 17 touchdowns. My God.
Don't
It's
call
like, what are
out
we doing?
Joseph Ehrenberg without mentioning his name. Look, I know
Joseph Herberg being super positive in the chat is
exactly
absolutely
two
ridiculous.
positive
I
posts in a
want
row.
negative
I'm like,
Joseph
hey,
back.
I want winners.
Yeah.
When it comes to De'Zhaun Stribling, I mean, he's shown us so much potential.
Yeah.
That we have never seen before. I mean, even with Ricky Pearsall when he came back and showed flashes of like what he could be, a different receiver altogether. What we're seeing out of Stribbling is the total package, the potential to be the total package that is. Hands, size, strength, speed. These are qualities that only certain receivers have. It's like when they talk about in baseball, he's a five-tool player.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
So this is sort of what you got with De'Zhaun Stribling, and I think that when they drafted him, and look, I'll be honest, I was shocked by the draft pick. I didn't even know who he was.
We all were.
He wasn't in anyone's mock drafts. He wasn't highly ranked. So when they picked him, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This is I totally was against the pick." But the way that he has performed so far in training camp and in preseason, I agree. This guy looks like the next coming of Julio Jones. I mean, it's really incredible. Now, if he would have made that catch from the Mac Jones pass, that would have sealed the deal. That would have been like, and I still think at this point, it's like, okay, look, he's shown us so much, he's done. You don't see him again until week 1 of the regular season. There's no reason to put him back out there.
Exactly. Do not put him on ice.
Game.
Yeah,
no,
put him on ice.
It. We're done.
Do you know
great. He's done.
who the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers is?
Yeah, but I mean,
Stribbling will play 3 quarters next Thursday against the Raiders, and you're going to like it.
Play a single quarter.
I was like, I got to find a hole in his game, so I can't start him.
You got to get all the guys that are on the bubble. So you got to get Watkins, Cowing, what's his name?
Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk, if he ever plays. He might even get cut. That's another topic right there.
I don't think so.
It definitely is. We're going to talk about it.
What's the guy's name? Will Pauling.
Wesley Grimes.
Wesley Grimes. Isn't there a Thompson in there too? Something Thompson Jr.?
Do you think that as of right now, 2 preseason games?
I wasn't done yet.
Hey, you're done now.
Stop hogging the spotlight, Dre. Come on, man.
Do you think that Stribbling as of today would start week 1? Because knowing Kyle Shanahan, I don't think he would.
No, he would not. He'd be your number 3
You're going to
receiver.
see Mike Evans, Deebo Samuel, and you're going to see Demarcus Robinson against the Rams.
Sterling, you read my mind.
I don't think so, because they're featuring him so much in these first 2 games that I think that this is Kyle's way of like kind of being like, yeah, like, see, I'm using him like he's going to be our number 3. Like, he has to convince himself, but like, I want to see if this guy can really perform. And so far, he's done an amazing job. Obviously, he had the drop on, I would say, an extremely difficult pass to catch.
It was kind of an awkward body. Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of catch is what elite receivers do on a regular basis. So he dropped it. That wasn't good. But all the other plays he made, I mean, he's got strong, big hands. And, I mean, when he went to him on 3rd down to get a first down. Now, look, here's the difference, though. Come the regular season, Brock is going to have Deebo Samuel out there, obviously. He's going to have Mike Evans out there. He's going to have George Kittle out there. So you're not going to see Stribbling featured as much as he was, but I still believe that Stribbling is probably going to be your number 3 receiver, just on his skill alone, his skill set alone. And I think DeMarcus Robinson will be number 4. And I don't know where the fuck Christian Kirk fits in this mess.
I would say this. The way Mike Evans has been going in camp, and I don't know how injured he really is, but he seems to be banged up every time he touches the field. We might see more of Stribbling just based on attrition more than the 49ers, forcing him into the lineup. I'll just say this about him, and I know, like you said, it's the preseason, Sterling and all that. I think physically he can play this game, like at a physical level, just like body type, hands, speed. It's going to be, can he adjust to what people are going to do to him? Because the best find a way. The ones that you say are preseason heroes, and all of a sudden, as soon as somebody gets a little tape on them, it's bye bye baby. You never hear from them again. But I think physically he has all the tools. I'm a huge fan of big receivers. Like when the Niners had
fast.
Stokes.
We haven't had a guy with this kind of speed.
He reminds me of T.O. in the sense that, like, when he catches it, he's always shielding his body. Like, nobody has the advantage on him as far as, like, when you have guys like Parasol and Dante Pettis and all these little skinny little guys, you put any hit on any of those guys, you put any physicality onto any of those guys, and that ball comes just popping out like nothing. I remember the one what was the one last year? The guy who Ronnie Bell, the old tap down when they were playing the Rams, like he spiked it down on the ground. Like
wasn't that 2 years ago?
Was that 2 years ago? That tells me how
2
much.
years ago.
Yeah, that tells you how much I really like.
He was a Lion last year.
I'm good.
That was the
really,
beginning of the end. When he dropped that pass, that was like, here we go.
I really think he has the ability physically to play the game. It's just like you said, it's going to be the adjustment to the adjustment. Like, can he?
Did you guys did you guys see what Dan Fouts said about Stribbling?
No, I did not.
I was watching the Chargers broadcast of last night's game because I live in Southern California.
You traitor.
That's what was playing on the NFL app because I was watching last night too.
Okay, so maybe you caught it in passing, but Dan Fouts, after Stribbling caught his first comebacker of the evening, caught it, hands are out, just brought it back into his body, kind of shielded himself, and went to the ground. Dan Fouts, and I don't know what his credibility is amongst the NFL world and Charger fans, but
he was a really good quarterback back in the day.
He's a legend in some way, right?
Yeah.
But he said that Stribbling looks like a veteran already. And so, like, when you hear that from a guy that has played and been uber successful as Dan Fouts was, a Charger legend through and through, probably their second best quarterback in team history, besides Phillip Rivers, that's a guy you hear that from, and you get outside perspective on one of the players in San Francisco. It makes your ears perk up and say, oh, okay, I've heard what we all say and what our own media says. When you hear what somebody else has to say, that to me does matter a little bit more at times, depending on, how big the hype is. And to hear other media members of other teams be like, no, this kid's legit. He's a veteran player. While I mentioned earlier that he's probably not going to start because Shanahan's just kind of like that sometimes with rookies. Yep. I almost want Stribbling to just force his hand like so much where it's like, if you don't start him, although Shanahan's, he's such a stickler for my way or the highway.
He's very prickish.
If Stribbling walks out of preseason with, 15 receptions on, let's say, 17 targets, 18 targets, and 135, 150 yards, and maybe he grabs a touchdown against the Raiders next week, how do you not play that guy? That's almost as good as Demarcus Robinson was all of last year. Like, how do you move off that dude? And no offense to Deebo Samuel, that's more than what Deebo Samuel's probably going to give you. Like, Stribbling to me is already a more impressive receiver than Deebo is at this point in time in 2026. So I want Stribbling to literally force Shanahan's hand of like, no, you have to play me against the Rams. I can be a difference maker against what is supposed to be one of the better defenses in football this year.
But I think that, again, the amount of plays you saw going to, what the hell? Sorry,
Stribbling.
The amount of plays you saw going to Stribbling, to me, again, it's Kyle Shanahan testing to see, are you somebody I can rely on? And to me, I think he's shown that now. That pass from Mac Jones, where he basically had to turn and catch that ball, I think that, if that was Jordan Watkins, Jacob Cowing, Christian Kirk, DeMarcus Robinson, and he doesn't drop and they drop that pass, you say, oh, damn, man. Well, that was a tough catch. But with Stribbling, when he didn't catch it, you almost expected him to catch that ball.
Right.
And so it was like, oh, damn it, man. He almost had that. But there was an expectation of, fuck, he should have had that ball. But those guys that I just mentioned, you give them a pass because you're like, well, they tried.
They suck.
Yeah, like, they have their limitations. But
Yeah.
with Stribbling, you were like, fuck, he should have had that. And that's what I said. I was like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, fuck, he should have had that. And that's the expectation that we already have for him. And I think that Kyle Shanahan is growing that expectation for him as well. Think about how dynamic this receiving core can be with Evans, Debo, and Stribbling. And then DeMarcus Robinson as your number 4. Like I said, I don't know where Christian Kirk fits in this. I feel like he's going to start the season on the PUP list. And that's going to allow another receiver to make the team, possibly Jacob Cowing. I don't think so. I think it's a little bit too late for Jacob Cowing.
Yeah, I agree with you.